Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the award-winning Recovery Podcast. Get in the herd. I am your host, Nathan Mitchell, today, and actually, I'm Nathan Mitchell every day. I'm only Nathan Mitchell, and today we're talking about um, getting uncomfortable.
Getting uncomfortable.
And I figure this is a good subject today because it's just me with Art, and I think I've already pissed off Art today, so
A
I
little bit.
figure a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
want to do this, but I'm doing it.
You didn't want to do it, did you?
Mm.
No. It's not like you don't talk to me all day anyway.
Yeah, it's just a little different with the camera and the light, but
Yeah.
it is just a conversation and two other people.
Two other people. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and the thousands of people who watch.
Live, I mean, live is two people, but
No, but
this is
go ahead.
a million people, right, in jails a year.
Just about, just
Yeah.
about. And I'm actually not kidding about the topic though, because one of the things that's constantly frustrating me is happening as we speak right now. That
The door
room
slamming.
right next
Yeah.
to us. It's like we first set up the podcast, and the way we did it was we were very careful not to have any groups at 2 o'clock up here, and then suddenly that just all changed without any thought to the repercussions of what would happen after that. And I feel like sometimes I make decisions without considering the just the rippling effect of those decisions. And I wonder if that's something that you do as well. Was that Pat? I saw that comment up there.
Yeah.
Um, Mr. Jones, good to see you, Pat. But I wonder if you can elaborate on that for yourself, because I find that to be a problem for me, making decisions without considering the ramifications, or the opposite, not making a decision because I get stuck in overthinking.
I do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do for that?
More often than not, I think I talk with people now. Not more often than not, but
Well, I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
Now I'm practicing on running things by whether it be you or John, my sponsor, and just and I do more of the not making decisions and just overthinking stuff. I do that more often usually than just making decisions.
I think I probably do too. Um, in fact, I know I do. I think I'm just perhaps projecting some frustrations that I'm having right now with decisions that have been made. They're just like, the rippling effects weren't considered, and now we're dealing with this crap. And one of those things is the door slamming a few times behind me. And every time I don't know if you can hear it online, but every time the door slams next door, it's like, boosh, right in my face, boosh, right in my ear. It's frustrating
It is, yeah.
physically. And this isn't a let's have a bitch session. This is really about decision making and how we make decisions, because I know in recovery, I'm sorry, in active addiction, when I was making decisions, I was just, okay, how am I going to get the next one? How am I going to get the means and ways to get to the next one? And now, in recovery, it's like, great, I'm not using, but how do I tackle like all the other things? Like, you know, how do I keep $500 in the bank? How do I make that $1,000? How do I pay bills on time? Those kinds of things. Do I pay bills on time, or do I got to eat?
Adulting's hard. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I'm trying to figure that stuff out now,
Yeah.
which is cool though. I get the opportunity to do that now. It's nice not having to think about the next one all the time. Um, yeah.
So you, my friend, and I say my friend not sarcastically, because you are my friend. Um, Tomorrow marks a day for you. Um, is it all right if I talk about that? You
Yeah.
want to talk about it?
Yeah. Tomorrow I'll have 6 months clean and sober, longest I've ever had.
The longest you've ever had.
Yeah.
What about that? What does that mean for you?
Um, I mean, it means a lot. It means that um, I'm doing something right. Um,
Doing something right. I like it.
I'm doing something right. It means a lot for me because, like I said, this is the longest I've had clean and sober, and it's been a long time since I've had any amount of time clean and sober. It's been 7 years, so this last run was a long one. So
Yeah.
I joked the other day about celebrating my 6 months, getting half a cake.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but that's the it's a lot. It's it's gone by quick, but it's also feels like a long time too.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, we've talked about it on the show. I think we have anyway, but let's talk about this because you got here in December, just before just after the holidays?
yeah, December 30th.
Yeah, okay. So just after Christmas, right? And what happened? You got here, you were on a plane, weren't you, from California?
Yep, came from
Was
California.
it a direct flight to Richmond?
No, I was I was I don't think there's any direct flights to Richmond from anywhere. Um,
Well, there must be at
well,
least.
yeah. Um,
All those
you
flyover
know what I
states,
mean?
they don't
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I actually missed my first flight from LAX,
That
and
definitely tracks.
yeah, I missed that first flight, and I ended up staying with my brother in Costa Mesa that night because I was just a mess, and he actually had me stay over at his place, and the next day he drove me to Santa Ana Airport and got me a ticket, and I was on the next flight out. I don't remember any of the flight. I don't remember layover. I don't
No.
remember who I sat next to, conversations or anything. If I
The
had
in-flight
conversation,
movie.
nothing. I was probably sleeping, but
Yeah.
and I got here. Uh, came here to the McShin Foundation. Was put over at Clark House the first night, and the next day they decided that it would be better for me to detox in a hospital. So I went to Tucker's, which is at Chippenham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hospital, and I that was a whole experience there.
Well, before we get to that, if you want to share that, but before we do, why were you asked to go over there and not just detox here? What were you detoxing off of?
So I was detoxing off of fentanyl, um, meth, and benzos.
Yeah, it's the
The
benzos.
benzos is what made it dangerous.
Yep.
I had been on benzos for like 10 years prescribed and maybe 15 years just messing around. And that's what made it. I guess I don't like again. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think Joyce had talked to Dr. Breslin, and the amount of benzos I was taking it wasn't safe. So
Yeah. Well, I bring this up because, my recovery journey now is all about recognizing currently, like my recovery journey now is a lot about, not all about, but it's a lot about recognizing what I was medicating when I was in active addiction. I'm a little over 4 years into this journey, and and sometimes, I have days, and I've had a few days recently where it's just like, what the frick is going on in my brain? It's like everything is, and some there's some aging issues and some fears, and the acceptance part of that, but like some of the things that I medicated with the drugs and alcohol for a long, long time, I'm realizing I'm not necessarily fixing or working on that as much as I thought I was. And so things are coming up, and it's like, I know that we talk about anxiety issues and stuff, and I know right before the show you're like, I don't want to do this. I'm like, no, no, no. And I wasn't necessarily really frustrated at you. I just like, I'm actually in kind of like physical pain, and I don't, not that I don't want to do this. I really do. I love doing this. I just don't want to do anything right now. Like
mm,
I'm physically just want to not do anything and be left alone, which is a dangerous place for Nathan. Even with the, some sort of, physical, like my brain's been really foggy lately, been getting a lot more headaches than usual, and I already get a lot of headaches, and so it's like, it's just like I want to be left alone, leave me the frick alone. And so what am I doing is like, well, I made a doctor's appointment, a couple weeks ago, and I'm waiting for that appointment. I tried to bump it up earlier today, but the point is, the getting uncomfortable part. Like I can't. It doesn't help me to go and isolate. It doesn't help me at all to be snippy and bratty and bitchy, and it doesn't help me at all to sort of cave into my anxieties and depression. And so as I'm looking at the way I medicated myself, self-medicated for so long, I'm thinking, oh, I've taken that out, and for the last 4 years, I've been doing a lot of. I'm kind of, for those of you listening, it's just up and down and up and down and up
yeah,
and down, and I've kind of gotten to a a fairly steady, mentality, but there are bumps, and then sometimes it's that really high pitched, really really fast wave of that's in my head that starts to be the problem, and I think that's kind of where I am right now. And I say that because you were medicating with benzos, and benzos treat anxiety
Yeah.
essentially. So it's been 6 months. That's a really big bug over there. Holy crap. Sorry, total squirrel for me, or bug for me. What are you doing, man? So, like, 6 months, what have you been doing? Because this is huge.
It is going back to the like what you were saying about not medicating anymore and then kind of just dealing with that. Uh, I think about that and I will pat myself on the back for this because I've been putting myself in situations like this one right now where I don't want to do things like this. Things like this make me anxious, but um, I I'm trying to like do more things like this to like what do they call it, like exposure, um something like treating it with exposure. What is it?
Oh,
Exposure treatment? I don't
I
know.
don't
Something
know.
like that. Where like if you have like a phobia or something like that, you do those things to
I'm sorry,
yeah.
you say exposure treatment, and I just picture a guy in a raincoat sitting there with it wide open and nothing on underneath.
That's a
Whew,
different kind of exposure treatment.
totally.
Um but I've been trying to like I work with with Alden and she talked to me
A
about this
therapist. Yeah,
therapist, counselor, therapist.
counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just trying to put myself in these situations like this and more social situations, and instead of kind of just like avoiding them, just putting myself out there so I can get used to it. And it's over the last 6 months, I've been doing more and more of that, and just getting uncomfortable. And um, I'm just getting more used to
Yeah.
dealing with people, really, because for the last 7 years before these 6 months, I was using. 4 of those years, I was really, really isolated, um, like just by myself in a room using. And so being around people now and communicating with people and dealing with people all the time is not used to it. So I'm just
Mm.
practicing.
I overheard you earlier today. There was a participant here on your couch, and that sounds bad, doesn't it? It was-
I have a yeah. I
yeah,
could see it.
yeah. So there was a participant here on the couch, and you and he were discussing his transition paperwork. And for those of you listening and watching, transitioning, whenever we have a participant leave our 28-day program and move to step up housing, we put together a plan. Well, the participant puts together a plan and then walks around and meets with staff members and alumni and gets signatures and recommendations. And so, as I was listening to you, and as I was listening and knowing the participant, as I was listening to you, I was thinking, I see some overlapping um, issues, not only with myself, but overlapping areas. There's a sort of Venn diagram of anxiety and anxiety from you and from the
Yeah.
participant, and listening to what you were telling him, and I thought there's some good suggestions there. And
Yeah, I could take my own advice, I guess.
Well, there was one thing particularly that I wasn't necessarily going to call you out
Yeah.
on it here, but I was gonna bring that up to you later, because one thing that I struggle with, you know, I was in at the very very end of my using. It's funny, my career life and my using life. I could not have been more different mindset.
Yeah.
Like I was constantly in front of people while I was in active addiction and working, but it was never an intimate friendly relationship. I don't mean intimate in a sexual way. I mean just intimate, like, it wasn't ever personal. I had a very very shut down, functional, I'm just a person, a vessel who has these tools because of the jobs that I had. And I did that, and then I would go into my active addiction part, where I might have had one or two people around sometimes. The very, very end though was really, really dark. And
Yep.
some of those really dark moments, especially, you and I've talked about like holidays. I know
Oh yeah.
we talked about Christmas, and I've had Christmases like your Christmas.
Yeah.
And that's where I know that we have a we have some similar well, we have a disease, and it's probably very similar disease, that I have that disease of addiction. And so I'm listening to you talk to that participant, and I'm like, there's some good stuff in there. And I struggle with wanting to be in the public now too. As funny as it is, because even in my because I'm kind of finding myself in that role now, because I have a very outward facing job. Sitting here and doing this is fairly easy enough and innocuous because it's a camera. I don't really pay too much attention to except that I'm looking at my fat ass right there. But um, I'm not paying too much attention to the other people around. I'm having a conversation with you.
Yeah.
What I will end up doing is I will end up going home later, and I will be reflecting on this conversation, and that's where my anxiety will be building. It's like, oh shit, what did I say? How
Yeah.
did I hurt myself? How did I hurt the organization? I'm going to get fired. I tell myself all these stories. It's a thing. I mean, this is not just a it's not just a, oh, I'm joking about this. It's like every single day I have to go through a routine about, you know what, I'm not a horrible person. Okay, I did the best I could today.
Yeah.
And that's what step work teaches me. That's what, I work a 12 step fellowship. That's what my program teaches me. It's like, okay, it's not that I'm, ooh, done, perfect, boom. It's, I have these tools now because I'm going to get squirrely. I'm going to go to isolation. It's my go-to move. I don't want to be around anybody. I don't want you to call me. But then if you don't call me, I'm upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Yep. Isolation for me is something I deal with. Um, I'm calling it decompressing instead of isolation now. Uh, there's times where you need to be by yourself.
Who does?
I need to be
Oh,
by
okay.
yourself. I need to be by myself sometimes, um, just to kind of like unwind and
Yeah,
and
I just Moses you, by the way.
I ninja. So I do that. I work here at McShann, and I go home and I just kind of I'm getting better at it though. Um, Getting better about like just kind of hanging out with the people in my house, and like just the other night, me and Rob watched a movie. Um, instead of me going to my room and just being by myself and watching a movie, we got a new TV. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Um, we got a new TV, and I just felt like break it in. We just watch a movie together, and we did. We got some popcorn, and we each had our own bag, which was nice. So we just hung out, watched a movie, and I'm working on putting myself out there more, and I never regret it. I never regret it. It's I've been telling this I've been saying this to myself a lot. Like things are never what I think they're gonna be.
Mm.
They never turn out that way, like what I think, and usually it's better, than what I imagine. So
I do know from experience, and you probably know this too, that I put myself out sometimes. I'll keep it on me, just like I asked you to. I'll keep it on me. I've put myself out sometimes, and I have been disappointed, or I have tripped up. You know, um, it's those moments where all of those fears, all those insecurities, all those anxieties, all those have the potential to just focus in, and just and just be the dominant voice in my brain. I don't know, man. I turned it off. I don't get it.
I don't think they can hear it. That's
I-
the air conditioning.
it is, but it isn't, because you'll go out there and the air conditioner won't be on. I think there's another system somewhere. I don't know. Oh, we got a whole bunch of people on here. But before we go to that, real
Mhm.
quick though, there are those moments where I do trip up. When I've put myself out there, and those are the moments, especially when I'm really vulnerable, that I need to have some tools in place, because I want to be able to put myself out. I want to say, do this or do that, and move forward in my life, and be of service, and accomplish some things, um, instead of being stuck in my bed all day, which is something I'm prone to do. And There are those moments where I don't take advantage of those things. I did that last night. We talked about this. There are those moments where I put myself out and I fall, and it's really grateful. I'm really grateful that I've got people around me who can help me get back up. It's when I
Absolutely.
don't use
Yeah.
those tools that I'm really struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still figuring out what my tools are. I know I have tools, and I'm still learning how to use them. Um, so
Yeah. I'm listening to you. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no, it's all right.
You want to get to those comments. You don't want to talk. What do we got over here?
So we have
Hey y'all.
Patrick. We have, who's that, Carolina Ayala?
Oh yeah,
Zola?
yeah, yeah, yeah. She was on the show. I don't know if she was on the show with you or with Justin.
Yeah, with Justin. I
Yeah.
saw
Well,
it on
put it
there.
on so we can. Yeah. Oh, hola. Hey, Carolina. Carolina. Who else? Who else? Who's
We got
next?
Kayla.
Kayla Mc. Actually, what is her last name? McHugh.
McHugh. Yeah.
She. I think I know her. Where do I know her? Y'all are rock stars.
She
She
is
says.
the women's program manager.
Uh
I
huh.
just did her staff spotlight.
Which I'm really excited about. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna need. Did you finish it with?
I did.
I'm gonna need a copy of that for the
Yeah.
newsletter. All right, what else we got? What else we
Just
got? Let's
looking
go
at it.
run down here. Patrick, great topic today. Congratulations, Art. I'm proud of you. Says Pat.
Awesome. Thank you, Pat.
All right, all right. Next one, next one. Kayla. Okay, Houston. Houston, we don't have a. Nathan just exposed there is a big bug in your office. Jesse, would you please, please, please turn it off and go on vacation, please? You just need to be on vacation, please. We love you. Great to see you, Art, on this side of the camera. Yeah, right, right. I mean, seriously, Doug, look at this guy. He should be on camera all the time. All right, what else does Doug say? Doug says, and nice mug, Nathan. Oh, he's actually talking about this mug, not my face. You know why? You see?
Doug is with the Phoenix, right?
Yeah, Doug is with the Phoenix,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw him yesterday over at Wellness Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed seeing you and hanging out, but what else? Jesse, it's so hot when you cut that AC off. Jesse, go on vacation, please. Oh no, oh, no. All right, what else? Oh shit, what have I said? See, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna obsess about what I've said. Both. Is this live? What else is that?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Thank you
I love
guys.
you guys.
Thanks for
Yeah.
commenting.
That's cool. I'm Jesse. I am glad you're there, buddy. I hope you're enjoying your vacation and getting some rest. It's something important to me that I have a hard time doing, saying when I've had enough. Um,
Like turning it off.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I talk about, so we're sitting here having this conversation, right? And I'm talking about isolating and blah blah blah. But there's also you mentioned decompressing, and you're right. There is absolutely like I need to decompress and get away. And I think I when we talk because you live in housing and because of your schedule and because of all the demands and this and that and the other and you have have a lot of different roles that you are now filling in here. I'm constantly telling you, suggesting desperately that you take my suggestion,
They're good suggestions. Yeah.
that when you have a day off, get the heck out of the place and go do something. There's a reason I'm doing that. Just as I heard you give a suggestion to somebody else, and I'm like, I know you ain't take that suggestion. I was about to call you out on that earlier, by the way.
Which one was it?
90 and 90.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Uh huh. Uh huh. Yeah. Uh huh.
I think I did it.
You didn't do 90 and 90.
I definitely did 90 and 30. I mean, with as many meetings as we go to here.
No, now these are
Yeah.
not 12-step meetings. You
Yeah.
can't say that.
But
But in fairness,
yeah.
it's because I'm the same way. It's like I go home and I either just plop down in front of the TV and I zone out to a way that I'm not actually doing anything that's meeting my goals, or I'm just matching the goal of, hey, let me get this season of whatever done,
Yeah.
or I come back and I'm here, and that's that work life balance. I think that's probably a thing for everybody. I don't know everybody. I know me, and it's definitely something I struggle with, and it becomes so much more necessary um, when I am in a position of how do I say this? I don't know if well, all right. So it becomes very, very necessary when I'm trying to be of maximum service to the next person. Because if I'm not giving my best, if I'm not at my best when I'm here, or I'm building up resentments, or I'm building up frustrations, or I'm building up resentments, most always at me. It's me not taking the time and not, giving myself the credit. Then I'm not of maximum service. I'm not actually fulfilling that part of my goal. So I have to find that balance. Like, I have to find that balance, or else I'm going to end up not helping anybody.
Yeah, it's
um,
tricky.
it is tricky. It is tricky. You live in housing still. You're a house leader. You're assistant.
Assistant, yeah.
Yeah, you're assistant, but you're essentially the house leader over there.
On
And
my way.
yeah, and they can be very demanding. Extra demands on your time. Got to get the meds for the people in the morning. Got to make sure this is done. You're looking out for what? How many? 8 guys in your house? 9 guys in your house?
Yeah, it's 10 of us total, so
10 of you?
9. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, looking out for the other 9 people and making sure, people are doing the things they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
Chores, all the things. And you're in a good spot. Like,
I
you've
was
had
just
a
gonna
really
say
strong house leader.
we have yeah. Rob's been a real good example of a house leader, and he's training me up, and um, and also right now we have a really good house. I know houses can change. Right now it's fairly easy because we just have everyone just does what they need to do. Everyone works, everyone does their chore. And we have that system we've talked about before where everyone takes a picture of their chore, puts it in the group chat. That way we know that chores are getting done. And so, but we have a good house right now, and like I said, I know that it can change quickly. So I'm just lucky that I'm with a good group of guys right now, and they're all they all were very welcoming when I moved over there, and because the house leadership changing, sometimes people can kind of resist and see what they can get away with, and
Ooh,
yeah,
ooh,
it happens. But
no.
yeah, everyone's been pretty good about just welcoming me on, and making me feel at home. So um, yeah.
Well, so assuming, and this is always a big assumption for me anyway, assuming that you make it to tomorrow and stay clean and sober for the next, say, another 10 hours,
Yeah, I
nine and
mean,
a half hours.
God willing.
God willing, and the creek don't rise. That's what,
Yeah.
as your sponsor says all the time.
I call the blue chip the elusive one. Never had one, so
The blue chip
the blue
in AA.
NA. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
the blue
it's a
tag.
yeah, it's a blue tag. Yeah,
6 months.
yeah.
You haven't picked it up yet, have you?
I haven't. No,
Oh,
but
okay. I was
I
saying,
got the
wait.
white, orange, green, red, and blues next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's funny. I am missing a tag on mine. I'll pick it up next year. Well, no, well, because once you get, multiple years,
Mm.
it's black and gold, black and gold, black and gold. I never picked up one this year when I celebrated in February.
Mm.
Um, I didn't celebrate anywhere, actually.
Well, in AA you did. I went. You picked up a chip there.
Well, yeah, I did pick up a
Yeah.
chip, but I do like having my
Yeah.
my tail. It hangs on the door in my bedroom now. It's not on my keychain. It would be unwieldy at this point. You're just getting to the point of
It is.
unwielding
I hope it gets
unwieldiness,
longer. Yeah.
and I hope it
So.
gets longer. Well, so I like that for you, and I guess the squirrel in me just lost my train of thought. What did we start off with topic wise? Do you remember?
We're
G-
just talking about how I got here and stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, but broadly. I do remember.
Oh,
I asked the question not because I was
just
trying to get you to. I wasn't trying to got you.
yeah,
I couldn't remember
decision making.
decision
Yeah,
making, or
overthinking.
yeah, getting uncomfortable. I think is what we started
Yeah.
with. Doing things that are uncomfortable. And what is doing things that are uncomfortable? What does that look like to you?
Um, like I said before, like putting myself in social situations, which I'm not a social person. I, I like social anxiety. So
You like it?
having social anxiety? No,
What I heard you say was, "I like social
no,
anxiety."
I have
Oh,
like
I have.
I have like social anxiety. I
Oh,
do have social anxiety.
okay.
So
Well,
it's getting better though. Working with Alden and stuff, and putting myself in those situations, it's making it easier.
how do you
So
think you're doing now?
I think I'm doing all right.
A scale of 1 to 4.
I like 2.
2.
Yeah,
That's 50%.
yeah,
How about a scale of 1 to 10? Is there a little more wiggle room there for you?
probably 5,
Okay, 5. Okay,
50%.
50. Well, it's not like a 6.
Yeah,
Okay, 5. 5.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. 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 I'll get back on that afterwards. So, I see there are more comments up there. Let's see what we got. We got. It's probably Jesse. He's talking about being out at work. Oh, it's Pat again. Let's see. What is? Oh God, right? What is balance? How do you do that, Patrick? So Patrick Jones, who's commenting right now and asked that question, in all, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, I've known Pat for a long time now, so he and I have been friends for quite a while, and we've seen each other grow and do some silly things too. I'm not going to go into the things that he's done or the things that I've done that he's seen me do, but he's seen me do some really stupid stuff, and I've certainly, Patrick, I love you. I've seen you do some stupid shit too. But on that end, how to what was the question again?
That balance. How do
Yeah,
you do that?
how do we do that? I think it's kind of where we are right now with this conversation. We've been talking about a lot of things, but I think broadly it gets to balance. What do you think?
I don't know about balance.
You don't know about balance?
I should too. I'm a Libra. I do the horoscope stuff.
You're a Libra.
Yes,
Oh, that's right,
scales.
October 12th. That's
Mhm.
right. Yeah,
Um,
that's why we get along. No, two of my favorite people are Libras. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So
Three, actually, I'm gonna amend that. Three of my favorite people are Libras.
nice. Who are the other two? My one.
Absolutely. My cousin Michael and my mother.
Nice,
My mom is October 6th, and my cousin is he's born on the feast day of St. Michael's on September 30th.
nice. Balance. I
Balance,
don't know.
balance. You don't know.
I don't know. I feel like I'm balancing stuff out pretty well.
Yeah.
Um, I know, like we were talking about days off and stuff, and I've I've been okay with not taking some of those days off just because we have events and it's just kind of been like that. But and I don't feel like I'm getting burned out or anything. Like I like being here and I like helping out. And Sunday, the spiritual service, breaking the bondage. Even if I wasn't doing the audio video, I would still be there because even when I was out of intensive and I was living at Clark or even New York, I would come over and I would be there. So you know, I mean,
You've lived in four houses.
Smith, Scott, and Clark, and New York. Oh, there's
Yeah.
four. Yeah.
It's funny because you lived in four houses. I've only lived in two, and I didn't live in any of those four. I've never lived in any of those four houses.
And usually they get people get moved because of consequences or I mean
Yeah,
just change of environment. But I was moved for
you got promotions.
promotions and then also just making it a little easier on someone that wanted to be at New York House. So we switched, and I wanted to be at Clark anyways.
You want to be a Clark? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the time real quick because I know you got to go and you wanted to keep it short, but I do want to talk about that. So not necessarily about that, but I wanted to talk about goals
Mm.
and the importance of creating and setting goals, creating, setting, and meeting those goals. And what goals have you set that you've met? What goals have you set that you're working on? And what goals have changed since you've been here for 6 months now?
So goals that I've met were to find a job, working here now full time, which is awesome. Staying clean and sober, accomplished so far. Fixing things with family, it's in progress right now. Um, Communicating with my son again after a couple years, and which is awesome. Um, he wished me a happy Father's Day, and that was really it was emotional because he's not, I'm not over there with him in California, and I, I'd like to see him, but baby steps. So relationships with my dad, with my brother, my sister, all those are getting better, and what else goals that I haven't met?
Well, I do. Can I piggyback off that real
Yeah.
quick? Um, I think that's really that's beautiful. Like that is absolutely beautiful. And I remember we were shopping at where were we? I was buying goggles. It was Sporting goods place, whatever.
Mm,
Wasn't
Dick's.
that was yeah,
Mm.
Dick's. That's right. It was Dick's. Dick's Sporting Goods. I was gonna say REI. We were at Dick's, and I think that's where we were. No, I don't remember. But your brother
Mhm.
called me, or I called him. I think.
Oh yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot why.
Well, he was just verifying because I think he was gonna give you some money to buy something.
Yeah,
Help.
some
He's gonna help you out with something, and
yeah,
he wanted to just
a
verify.
computer. Yeah,
That's right. That's
yeah.
right. Yeah. And he was looking out to see, just check up on you. And so, how was that one? How's that relationship going?
It's going great. Actually, he called me yesterday.
Tell him I said hi, by the way.
Yeah,
That goofy interaction I had with him that day, I still feel silly.
that's all right. He called me yesterday actually, which was cool because it still kind of surprises me sometimes when I get calls from other people than my dad. My dad always kind of just wants to see how I'm doing, but when other people call me, I usually think it's like, oh, like, what did I do? Like, why are you calling me? Like, so, but he called me yesterday, and he was just driving to Brawley, California, from Costa Mesa. It's like a 3-hour drive, so he just wanted to call and see how I was doing and talk for a little bit. And I was downstairs doing making Kayla's video for a staff spotlight, and it was cool. We just talked for a little bit, and he literally just wanted to see how I was doing, which is it's cool. Before I got here, me and my brother had a relationship, but it was not the best relationship. It wasn't terrible, but it was just him kind of always like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, just
Hmm.
get it together. But yeah, it's cool to be able just to talk about, not be calling him asking him for something, and you know,
Is your brother, organized
yes,
and okay.
yes,
So
he's
he's doing the life thing.
he's doing it. Yeah, he went to Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, graduated. He's a business accountant, and did everything that he was supposed to do, and he's still doing it. So
Yeah. Does he have kids?
no,
Oh, okay. No nieces and nephews.
I do. I have
Oh,
I have two nieces and no, three nieces and two nephews. Three nieces, one nephew.
one nephew. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have I have two. I have three nieces and two nephews. Yeah, two, one, two, yeah, three, four, five. Yeah, yeah, five, three and two. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of neat actually. I mean, I don't have any kids, as you know, so I get to play with them, and that's a cool thing. So, this morning, I texted with my mother and sister together on a thread, just goofing around. I told you about the TV. We found I found a 75-inch TV that was half off at $700, and I'm like, "Ugh, Mom, because my mom's getting ready to move, and she's kitting out her new house, and I just kind of goofy sending it, but actually kind of serious at the same time. And the cool thing is like we just have this little cool conversation back and forth, the three of us, and my mom will soon be living real close to my sister, and which is really relatively close to where I am now. And my sister responds back with a little video of my 3-year-old niece being silly and talking on the pretending to talk on the phone. She's using a banana and she's having this conversation, not realizing she's being filmed or
Oh yeah.
watched. And she's calling Gigi, my mom,
Yeah.
her grandmother, and Uncle Nathan. And
Nice.
and I'm just like, this is really cute. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's what my life is a
She's
lot
adorable.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pepper, right?
Pepper, yeah. And I love that because it's those family things. It's that can Justin, it's the family stuff getting back together. That's really cool. And I think that helps me to find balance too. Because it's not just I don't just get burned out here. I didn't say I was burned out earlier, but I don't, and I'm not burned out, but I have I'm struggling with the work life balance, and I think it's always kind of a struggle. Some, and I think that's okay. I'm not so frustrated that I'm gonna go completely off kilter. I have tools. I do know how to use. By the way, Jesse, if you're watching, I do know how to use a vacation time off slip. Um, I've never used one
Mm.
here. I've never used it, and I'm like, I need to. I absolutely
Yeah, that'd
do.
be a good idea.
Um, So it's like those kinds of things, and then I'll go see my family and hang out with my family, but I also get burned out sometimes with that. It's like, "Ooh, you guys are really loud and busy."
Mm,
It's like you go over to my sister's house, and I love going over there, but the first 10 minutes or so of being there is adjustment period because
yeah,
she's got the 2 young kids and the 2 dogs and the 3 cats, and it's all just, within 10 minutes, I'm covered in all kinds of sticky stuff, and I don't know where that's all from. It's from the dogs and the
yeah,
kids and the neighbor, and I love it, but it's also,
yeah. It's a lot.
"Ooh, where's the beer? Oh, wait, I don't do that anymore." And it's funny because I didn't really process that, because of COVID. I didn't spend a lot of time with my sister and her family. Plus, they were living in Texas up until a year and a half ago or so. And because of all that, now that we are reestablishing that relationship, and now they've gotten past the COVID stuff, I can just come over there now. We're reestablishing that in my sobriety now.
Mm,
It's an adjustment. It's kind of relearning these things in a helpful way for me, because
yeah,
family for me has always been important, and I always went and did family things. But I notice I'm just not that person anymore. I'm not the same person I was doing those things. I'm much more um well, I'm just more me. I'm authentic,
yeah,
which is to say, it's helpful to get in the car and leave if I need to, but I don't always need to do that. It's like, okay, I don't need to pick on people in my family who are doing things I think are ridiculous. I don't need to take it when people are picking on me. It turns out it's not as bad as I always used to think it was. But it always felt like that. I've got a very loud, boisterous family, and they're
yeah,
really cool people, and it can be very overwhelming.
yeah. My
And I
family's like that too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's
more on
also,
my mom's side of the family is like that.
yeah. Well, mine is more my dad's side of the family.
Mm,
My mom's side of the family, they're my uncle and my aunt are literally math geniuses, and it's just, I think that sort of keeps them in a sort of social.
mm,
I love you both, by the way, if you're watching and listening, and they're great people, and they're i- calmer.
yeah.
But anyway, what else is up there? Anything else?
No, that was it.
Patrick has a whole bunch of stuff. What does he say? For me, I had to fight with the feeling of being lazy and confusing that with giving myself rest. Yeah, yeah, I get that. What's above that? Patrick says, I saw something today that said, always choose the toughest path because that's the one with the most growth. The addict in me resists this at all fronts. Yeah, I mean, I like that broadly, but at the same time, I don't know. The guy who just wants to get home and have a nice cup of tea and go to the bathroom doesn't always want to take the toughest path.
No, definitely not.
No. And then Justin, love you, buddy. It's good to see you.
Yeah, he said hello, gents. I put that up there.
The
Yeah,
gents. Yeah, I see that. So what are we at? 44 minutes?
yeah,
How
but
insane is that?
it went by quick.
Yeah. Did it
Yeah.
feel like 44 minutes?
No, it didn't.
No.
No, it did. It went by quick.
You still rating your performance out of 5 out of 10?
Um, yeah, because I want to be all the things.
Ooh, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah,
As soon as I said a whole nother show, I immediately corrected the grammar in my head because that's completely bad grammar. It always has been, and I still say it every once in a while. You're putting the word whole in the middle of the word another. So it would be a whole, it would be another whole
another whole.
show. It
Yeah,
would be another whole show. Yeah. But see, this is what my mind does all the time, dude.
you got it right.
I am serious, dude. Overthinking the heck out of shit all the time.
Yeah, I do it too.
That's what I used to medicate. Seriously, that's what I used to medicate with what I did.
Mm,
And it's becomes more of a thing today when I'm not using my tools because I still want to be all the things too. I
mm,
want to do all the things. I don't want to miss out on anything. When I do miss out on something, I get disappointed in myself,
mm.
especially when I set myself up to do something as simple as go to an art museum function by myself yesterday. That was the real thing. Yesterday it's like I don't want to go to this thing alone,
Yeah,
you know? it's scary to put myself out there.
It
Yeah,
is.
but I
Yeah.
kind of have to work on that and do it
When I
one
said I
day
was
at a
like putting
time.
myself out there, it was more like um just participating in life with people.
Yeah,
I'm not really throwing my. This is putting myself out there, but like being at the house and just hanging out with the guys and stuff is, I should be doing that. Anyways,
should.
I need to be doing that.
Mm,
I do.
mm.
Um, and like I was saying, it's never really what I thought it would be, and it's usually better.
Yeah.
So
Well, we've put a lot of material for the next show where it's just the two of us.
yeah,
I'm kind of whispering and mumbling my words. We have one last comment up there, and then let's land the plane because I know you've got an
sounds good.
appointment.
Yeah,
Justin says, "New mic cables, they look snazzy."
I noticed.
How does he?
You can see the color.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy, Justin. You're great. All right.
Also getting new headphones coming in. Thank you,
Yeah.
Melanie.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you,
For
Jesse.
for,
Thank you, McShane.
Hey, if listen, while we're at it, if you or somebody else you love would like to sponsor a kid, I mean a podcast
Kid.
for 53 cents a day, you too, just for the price of a cup of coffee. Am I embarrassing myself?
No,
I'm gonna go
you're
home and think
embarrassing
about it.
me.
Am I?
No, I was
Oh,
kidding.
shit. I'm gonna go home and obsess about this, but I will not watch the show ever. I will never watch it.
I haven't seen
Yeah, I
none of
can't.
my own.
Yeah, I won't
Well,
do it.
I've only been on 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I see you talk more and more with every episode, and I like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
I'm getting more comfortable.
Well, my friend, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, tomorrow morning you're going to wake up with 6 months of recovery, and that is a beautiful thing. And I really, take it to heart, the fact that you recognize, the accomplishment, and I hope you continue to celebrate it, and
Yeah.
celebrate that as my program, and I think your program suggests, one day at a time. So, on that note, do you have
Cool.
anything you want to say?
That's it. I mean, I just want to thank everyone who's helped me along so far on my journey and continues to help me out. Um, I really couldn't have done it alone. So I appreciate everyone, McShane, Nathan, John, Jesse, everyone,
Yeah.
my family,
Cool.
everyone.
Very, very cool. Well, on that note, we will see you. Have a great 4th of July. Is that this weekend? Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's
Wow. It is 4th of July
it's
weekend.
Monday, right?
Monday is the,
Yeah.
yeah. Have a great 4th of July weekend, everybody. Excuse me. Damn, I was hoping to wait till the end of the show. We need a cough button. Justin, we need a cough button. Shh. Um, have a great 4th of July weekend. If you're around, you're in town and in Richmond, come over to McShane, man. We got a party going on 12 to 4. There'll be hot dogs, there'll be hamburgers, there'll be corn dog, not corn dog, cornhole.
Cornell.
Cornhole. You bring cornbread, you can make your own corn dog if you want. We'll be some music, there'll be recovery. I already know that we've got a couple of politicians coming by, so bring some eggs if you want. And after that, next, we're gonna let that joke just go. You're just gonna
Yeah.
let that just, it wasn't very funny.
Tomatoes, eggs, whatever you guys want to bring.
Bring your ideas to share with the politicians. How about that? There we go. With that, um, we will see you back on the 5th. We have Mechanics of Faith here, and I'm excited about that. Jason Wells in here to talk about Mechanics of Faith and what's going on with that. So have a great weekend. Be safe, and as always, stay in the herd.